What's going on? My name's Caleb. I'm a full-time reseller. When you're out looking for items, it's super important to know what to pick up. And today I'm going to show you every single item that I personally sold for $99 or more, so you know what to pick up when you're out looking for inventory. As you can see from the title, there are a lot of items that I'm going to be going over. I will go in detail when I find it necessary, but I am going to try to keep this moving to give you guys the items as quickly as possible. Make sure you stick around to the end to see my very best sale of 2024. So this first item we have here is a Barstool Sports University of Tennessee collab. This is a Carhartt hoodie, so it's kind of got three things all stacking the value on top of each other, and this was new with tags. This was a limited edition, sold for $99 plus shipping. Because this item sold more than 90 days ago, I'm not able to pull up every image that I posted, just the profile picture. But for the items that sold in the last 90 days, I'll show you guys multiple pictures as well. Next, we have some Asterflex boots. That is the brand. When I picked these up, they just felt super high quality. So I looked in here, saw that the brand was Asterflex, and when I saw that it was made in Italy, I knew that it was a good chance that they were going to be good. So I decided to look them up. And once I looked them up, I realized they are great. I used Google Lens to figure out this is the Bitflex Chelsea model. And yeah, these sold for actually $99 plus shipping. This next one is a double because I actually sold the exact same jacket twice. Two different jackets, but the same style of jacket, both for $99 plus shipping. This is the LL Bean utility jacket. This was a really nice jacket. I knew it was going to be good when I felt it. What I did was I went to Google, typed in LL Bean 507067, then added my own keywords with chore and work, and got this thing sold for really good money. And here's the other one. It is in their color called Gunmetal Gray, but really it's kind of like a slate blue kind of color. Either way, this one sold full price, $100 plus shipping. The next item is a pair of Timberland Pro wedge boots. These were just really nice. I picked these up from a Kohl's clearance sale for I think around $30, and they sold for $99.22 plus $15 shipping. This brand has been on my bucket list for a super long time. This is an RRL vintage, made in USA, 100% wool flannel. It also has the loop collar. This thing had so many things going for it. It is literally like one of the perfect items from this brand you could find. The only problem is there were stains and marks all over the front of this, and it still sold for $99.72 plus shipping. This next one definitely surprised me. It's a Scotty Vest 101 vest. The brand is Scotty Vest. They make travel apparel that has lots of pockets, kind of like a techie kind of style. This was new at tags. I picked it up for $3. The thrift store missed it, and it sold for $99.95 plus shipping. When I found that item, I knew it was going to be good, but I had no idea it was going to be a $100 item. Here we have a Patagonia Cinchilla snap tee. This had a geometric print on it, so I knew it was going to sell for more than just a plain colored one. It also had this little string here, which let me know that it was in new condition, because this is the string that the tag would normally be attached to. Even in a size women's extra small, was still able to sell this for $100 plus shipping. I am going to sprinkle in the $99 plus items on Poshmark as well. This was a vintage Carhartt jacket in this plum burgundy color. It had a local company embroidery on it, and it still sold for $100. If you find a colored Carhartt jacket, a vintage one, those can sell for way more money. If this would have been without that logo, probably could have been closer to $200 sale. Okay, we have our first non-clothing item on the list today. This was a Christmas decoration. I bought this from Big Lots for between $25 and $30, I believe, and it sold for $125 on Poshmark. The nice thing on Poshmark is the buyer pays shipping, and it includes up to 5 pounds of weight. So I was able to just put a label directly on this box and get it shipped out very easily. And same thing with this raccoon Christmas decoration from Big Lots. Stacked some coupon codes to get those prices down, and was able to sell this one for $119. 2024 just ended, and I had over $200,000 in sales last year. But one thing that really surprised me is that $30,000 of those sales came from selling on Poshmark. Now, I only started selling seriously on Poshmark in May of this year, so I was really shocked by how big that number got, and it really is all thanks to the software Autoposher. They make it super easy to import your listings, get everything cross-listed. They use AI to fill in a lot of the tedious fields that you'd normally have to input on these listings. And their auto delist feature when you sell something worked flawlessly every single time. I really can't recommend them enough, and for just $70 you can get tons of cross-listing credits, and you can have them be a virtual assistant for your eBay store and your Poshmark closet and Mercari and Depop if you sell on those platforms. Once again, I can't recommend them enough. It has helped me so much in my business this year. If you do want to try it out, you can get a 7-day free trial and a discount on your first month using the code CalebSells or the link in the description below. Back to the items. Here we have another Big Lots Christmas decoration. You can see this is a theme. These all sold for kind of just around $100. And I was picking these up between 25 and 30 bucks. Really easy to ship because they already came in a box. These Minions ones were selling for about 100 bucks. This is a cool jacket sale. This is a vintage Abercrombie and Fitch like wool shacket kind of thing. Really cool old tag, wool plaid on the outside, Sherpa lined on the inside. I used this nice profile picture to show the inside and the outside at the same time. Sold full price, 100 bucks. Another full price sale, Atlanta Falcons vintage starter jacket. For the vintage starter jackets, these little half zip pullover puffer ones are some of the best ones you can find. So I was super stoked to find this one. Here we have some Doc Marten boots. These sold for 100 bucks plus shipping. This was the style here, the Crazy Horse. I picked these up from the Dick's warehouse sale for 30 bucks. One of my favorite brands to buy, sell, and wear, Patagonia jacket. This model with like the Sherpa outside and this like kind of mesh lining on the inside is called the Retro X. It's an excellent model of Patagonia jackets to be on the lookout for. Even if you have to pay up a little bit, this particular style is one that is worth paying up for in my opinion. It sold for 100 bucks plus shipping. This was probably my favorite hat from the vintage hat haul I had this summer. I found a bin of vintage sports hats with one of my good friends out hitting garage sales. This little design here is called the Diamond Cut. These can be really, really good. It's one of the best ones for vintage sports hats. This Ravens one sold for 100 bucks. Back to a few Poshmark sales. This Lululemon jacket sold for 129 bucks. I did pay up for this, but I knew it would sell super fast. The model name on this one was called the Down For It All hoodie. Here we have an Obermeyer jacket sold for 130 bucks on Poshmark. You can see down here on the sleeve as this 2020 symbol. That is a waterproof and windproof rating that, you know, Obermeyer uses their own little system. And it also has this Reco logo. Let's find it a little more zoomed in here. A lot of high-end jackets have this on there. It's not every time you see this, buy it, but it's a good sign. You want to look into it a little more if you see this logo on a piece of outdoor equipment. All right, here we have a vintage Burberry suit. The reason this sold for so much money, 100 bucks, is it was a full suit with the jacket and the pants. I thought this was going to take a super long time to sell, but it actually ended up selling pretty quickly just because you have to find somebody to match the size of the top and the bottom at the same time, but it worked out. Here we have some Kobe's. These sold for 100 bucks plus shipping. Men's size 14, so happy to get a quick sale on a $100 offer. These sold in a day. Here we have a pair of New Balance running shoes. I found these at the thrift store in brand new condition, but with no box, so I just listed as new without box. Took an offer of 100 bucks on these. The model is the Fuel Cell Rebel V4. Anytime you see running shoes with these huge chunky soles, that's what's very in style and the most expensive models right now. Next item is an Abercrombie and Fitch Adirondack jacket. Sometimes it will say Adirondack right here. This one didn't, but luckily I already knew that. This like faux fur lining with the really heavy cotton shell. That's what's considered an Adirondack jacket as far as Abercrombie and Fitch is concerned. But this sold full price 120 bucks. I was really surprised to get a full price sale on that because I thought I was listing a little bit high. Here we have a Ralph Lauren Black Label utility jacket. Put the keywords moto, trench, stadium, and chore, just kind of based on the other sold comps for similar jackets. Here's a little picture of the Black Label tag. Now this did have a removable liner that was not there. And I got an offer for 100 bucks from somebody and he had already messaged me about if it had the liner or not. And I said, no, it does not have the liner. So I actually felt like a safe bet to accept the $100 offer for somebody that knew that there was no liner. Even though I put that in description, sometimes people don't really read, and it felt like a safer way to get a, sale that wasn't going to be returned. Okay, here we have another Big Lots Christmas decoration. This one is a shark, obviously. Came in a box just like this. I sold 3 of these for 130 bucks plus $15 shipping a piece. And once again, these were between 25 and 30 bucks a piece. If you're wondering how I know about some of these sales to find these really good deals, I actually get a lot of my information from the Discord group Bread and Butter. There's a link in the description down below if you do want to try it out. It does help me if you use my link. Here's a little pro tip. If you do decide to join the group or you are in another lead sharing group, use the leads that are shared to find where the deals are. Then go on those sites to find your own deals, or go in store to the retail places and find your own items that are profitable to pick up, because then you'll have less competition. The reason I was able to get 130 bucks a piece on these Christmas decorations is because there was no one else with this listed, so I just named my own price. Here we have some Jordans. These are the 38 lows. I picked these up from the Dick's warehouse sale. Another thing that I learned from that Bread and Butter group. These sold for 102 bucks plus shipping. I think I paid 44 bucks. Okay, this is a sale I'm very proud of. This Under Armour jacket sold for $104 plus shipping. This was a really nice jacket. It's from their Stormproof line, which you can see here on the sleeve. But what really sets this apart is I went down here to this style tag, typed in 1315983 into Google, and figured out this was called the Navigate jacket. And then I keyworded it up with tiger stripe camo. It's not actually tiger stripe, but it kind of has that similar look. Anyway, all the things combined: waterproof, stormproof, tiger stripe, Navigate, having the model name, all those things work together for me to sell this way over similar items on eBay. There were a lot selling for the $50 to $75 range, and I was able to get 104 bucks for this one. Here we have some Thursday boot Chelsea boots. I used Google Lens to figure out these are the Chelsea Cavalier in the rich mahogany colorway. These were in brand new condition, so they sold very well. 105 bucks plus shipping on those. Here we have another online arbitrage sale. If you don't know what online arbitrage is, that just means I ordered this online and it was shipped directly to my door. I picked this up from the Mountain Hardware website for $54. Turned around and sold it for $108 plus shipping on an offer, and it only sold in 10 days. This is what the logo for this brand looks like. If you find their jackets, especially down jackets, in used condition, they are still great flips. Next item is a Patagonia Nano Puff jacket in the Dolomite blue colorway. The reason I listed this so high at 130 bucks is because there was none in this color listed on eBay. So I was just trying to use the market to my advantage. I did end up taking an offer just the first day it was listed for 109 bucks plus shipping. If you have a Patagonia item, you go to this STY, and the 5 numbers following that is the style code. So that's how I figured out this was the Nano Puff jacket. Another Obermeyer ski jacket. This one sold for 109 bucks plus shipping. This one was from the Fusion series. Another thing that I just put in the title to help it sell a little bit faster. And once again, this has that Reco technology and is waterproof, so just a really high quality item. These are one of my favorite pickups of the year. They were size men's 11.5, and I was just really hoping these would have been my size. But these New Balance 990 V4s sold for 110 bucks plus the eBay authenticity shipping. Here's another pair of shoes that went through the eBay authenticity guarantee program. These are Hoka Anacapa Breeze mids. Either way, I picked these up for I think 62 bucks on an online deal and sold for 145 plus shipping. Next item is a Canali vest. This is a really high-end menswear brand. Definitely one to file away when you're out at the thrift store. This was like a soft shell vest. Normally I find blazers and suits and things like that from this brand, maybe dress shirts. This soft shell vest sold for 115 bucks plus shipping. Next item are some Red Wing cowboy boots. These were the Picos 1155 model. Sold super fast for 115 plus shipping. Another Christmas decoration. You guys are seeing a theme. One of the categories that has served me very well over the last few years are holiday decorations. Just a nice little niche on eBay that, you know, if you know what you're doing, can make some really good money. I sold 3 of these. I did sell a couple on an offer, but the last one I raised the price because my listing had some sales and was moving up in search, and was able to get 160 bucks for the last one plus shipping. I've talked about this shirt in a few different videos because it's just the most extreme Robert Graham shirt I have ever seen personally. It has like this martini glass and this woman coming out of the glass, and just a super wild Robert Graham print. Either way, sold for 117 bucks plus shipping. All right, we're moving into a brand new category for the video, some outdoor tools. I picked these up from the website called Woot. It is like a clearance liquidation side of Amazon's business. Bought a bunch of different items last spring and summer, and these were some of the last items to sell because I was holding out for a premium. One thing to note if you do buy power tools is that the ones that come with the battery and the charger do sell for a premium because a lot of people want extra batteries or want extra chargers or don't have one at all. And if you just buy the tool, you'd have to buy the batteries separately anyway, so you're able to ask just a little bit more. I paid between 30 and 40 bucks for a bunch of these different combinations and sets, so I don't remember the exact price, but this one sold for 118 bucks. Okay, this brand really caught me by surprise. The brand is called Frauenschuh. It's like a women's outdoor waterproof kind of pant. It had like a soft shell material to it. And let me show you guys the tag. This is what the back tag looked like. The thrift store had this priced up, which was really the only reason why I, looked into it a bit more. But once I looked into it, these were selling really, really well. And yeah, it sold full price super fast. Another Dick's Warehouse sale pickup, paid 45 bucks for these Speedgoat 5s by Hoka. They sold for full price, 120 plus shipping. I paid $5 for this Christmas decoration at a garage sale. It was actually in the box that it originally came in. That's how the people stored it, which was great. I tested it out on my patio. It worked perfect. Sold for 120 bucks plus $15 shipping. Next item is a Cotopaxi jacket. This is a women's down fill. You can see here it says an 800 fill, which means that's a very high quality jacket. The higher that number is, usually more expensive the jacket is. This one was brand new with the tags and sold for 120 bucks. Okay, this was a fun one. This Eddie Bauer jacket honestly was not in the best condition, but I picked it up anyway because I knew that it was super old based on the tag. From what I saw others listed for on eBay, I'm guessing this was from the 70s, but this particular style with like the square puffs and the regular sleeve sells for a premium. If you can find one from the 50s or 60s, they can sell for $300, $400, $500. But I got an offer for 120 for this one, and I went ahead and took it because the condition was not perfect. We got another power tool. This one did not come with the battery, but it was a 16-inch brushless chainsaw. If you do sell power tools, once again, brushless is a feature that makes it a little bit better than other ones. And 16-inch chainsaw is a pretty big size for the electric powered ones. Once again, I paid somewhere between $30 and $40, and it sold for 125 bucks. This next one is one of my favorite finds of the year. This was a Polo Sport vintage N2B snorkel jacket. Super cool features on this. If you see here, like this fur kind of folds down over the shoulders. It's very military inspired, super cool. And here's that vintage Polo Sport tag, down-filled, dyed sheep mutton fur. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's so fancy, I don't even know what that is. But super cool item. I did actually take an offer of 125 on this just because it is such a unique item, and I was happy to make a quick sale because I picked this up pretty cheap at the thrift store. Here's another item I took an offer on because I had it listed for quite a while without many offers. Took a $125 offer on this vintage Cabela's like coveralls insulated suit. It did have this super cool frog skin camo. It was Gore-Tex as well and made in USA, so just a super cool piece, to be honest. But it did have a lot of dirt and staining on it, so I'm happy for 125 on that. I picked that up at Goodwill out of season, like in the middle of summer, for I think 26 bucks. Once again, pretty much all the Christmas decorations I purchased this year were from Big Lots. I stacked some coupon codes to get this down to $44 and sold two of these for I think I took an offer like 140, 150. Plus $15 shipping. So definitely a nice little flip. This is one of my favorite garage sale finds of the year. This was a vintage Canon AE1 film camera with a few extras included. It sold for 126 plus shipping. Picked this up at a garage sale with some other camera accessories that also sold for good money. And I think I paid 25 total for everything. So definitely cameras are something to be on the lookout for. Next item is a Robert Graham limited edition shirt. You can see it says limited edition right there. If you see Robert Graham limited edition, just buy it. These things sell amazing. People really collect these things. A really good size of 2XL. This print was called the Armadillo layer. You can kind of see it has like a armadillo skin type look to it. I think the other one was way more wild, even though it wasn't limited edition, but limited edition gets you a little bit more money. 127. Here we have a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren leather jacket. This is a bolo. These sell for great money. Probably could have gotten well over $200 if this was in perfect condition, but I listed conservatively because it had some marks, some scuffs, some discoloration on the leather, kind of all over the place. And I actually got the offer of $135 from an international buyer, which they can't return the item. And with it having flaws and everything, I felt really good about getting a sale where it wasn't going to be returned. Everybody's favorite vintage Carhartt jacket. This sold for $135 plus shipping. I listed for $150 and it sold on an automatic offer of $15 off, 10% off from Autoposher. Got this thing sold in less than a day. Super cool color on this with the blanket lining. Pretty much everything you're asking for in a Carhartt jacket. Only thing that could have made this crazier if it was like a bright color or Aztec or something like that. I've been getting more into these dress coats because they can sell for really good money. They do tend to sell a little bit slower, but this one sold pretty quick. This one was Brooks Brothers. I had Robert Noble tweed on the inside. I don't know if that really helped the value or what, but this thing was super fancy. Completely wool. It had a removable wool liner as well to, make it even warmer. Just a really beautiful coat, super long. It's got the window pane plaid on it, and this sold for $135. Next item are some Thorogood boots. I picked these up at a Kohl's clearance sale for I think about 35 or 45 bucks. They do a sale every so often where it's 50% off the lowest clearance price. These Thorogood boots are great to be on the lookout for, even in used condition or at a garage sale or flea market. But in new condition, they sold for $140. Another great boot brand to be on the lookout for is Chippewa. Really, anytime you see this kind of sole, you're going to want to look into them a little bit more because really nice, well-made boots, they sew the soles onto the bottom because people just replace the soles because the tops last super long time when they're really well made. And that was my first indication to look into this a little more. And then once I looked into it, I knew it was going to be a great flip. This model is called the Ellesmere. It's a 7-inch wedge mock toe boot. Sold for $140. Another vintage Carhartt jacket. This one is pretty much just like that last one we looked at, only this one is black. It's a little bit older because it goes by the chest size, not by small, medium, large or whatever. But size 52 is a really big size, which oddly enough is not like the perfect size for a vintage Carhartt. Either way, this sold on an offer for $150. The last New Balances, I said I was devastated they weren't my size. Well, these ones I was even more devastated. If I could pick any shoe to just have right now, it would probably be this one in my size. But I'm too cheap to pay retail for it or whatever it's reselling for. I was hoping to find these at the thrift store my size. They were not in my size, but they were in brand new condition, just no box, just like the other pair. And these sold for $150 plus shipping. Here we have some more holiday decorations. This one is a Halloween decoration. Things with specific breeds of dogs always sell well because people that love their breed of dog really love their breed of dog. So this one was a black lab. It had like a glow-in-the-dark skeleton thing on it. Picked this up for $40 right off the rack at Home Depot. I was the only one listed when I purchased this, so I listed super high, $150 plus $50 shipping, so $200, and it sold in less than a day. And same exact thing with this golden retriever one. I actually was able to pick up 2 of these and they both sold on the same day as well. So all 3 of them that I picked up, the 1 black lab and the 2 golden retrievers, sold for $200 all in. All right, I mentioned earlier in the video the vintage hat haul. This was the best one from the haul. This was a vintage sports specialties Los Angeles Raiders script single snapback. Now there's one that has like a thicker script with 2 lines around it. That one is still really good, but this one is like the grail of Raiders hats. Unfortunately, you can kind of see here that it is pretty discolored in the embroidery. And I have to also say that there was some major structural damage to the hat. So in perfect condition, this could have been a $3, $4, $5, maybe more $100 hat. But I did get it sold for $150 plus shipping. Still super happy with that considering we only paid $40 for the entire bin, and you're gonna see one more sale from that still coming up. But this was actually the hat when we first found the lot. When I saw this, I knew I needed to buy the entire bin. Next up is a Dolce & Gabbana suit. I honestly don't really know much about designer clothing, but when you find something that looks fancy, looks designer, you definitely want to look into it, look it up. I actually purchased this one from someone off of Instagram that was just looking to get rid of their menswear. So I bought a bunch of suits and suit jackets from this person, and this was the best item that I got, and it sold for 150 bucks. This next item is another two-piece item. I sold two of these Filson puffer jackets, one for 184 and one for 175 on Poshmark. I picked these up for 88 bucks directly from Filson's website based off of a call out from the Bread and Butter Discord group. But this thing was super cool, and because it had this really awesome like frog skin camo print on it, I just knew that these were going to sell great. And once they sold out online, my listing started getting a lot of traction. I sold both of these, I think, within like 1 day of each other. And the only regret I have is not buying more. If you've been watching my videos recently, you saw me find this live at the thrift store just a couple videos ago. This is a Canali blazer. I already showed one Canali item in this video, but this is the tag on the blazer, made in Italy. It says size 50, that's the Italian size. You subtract 10 from that to get the US size, so 40 is the US size. This was actually a linen wool blend with the nice window pane plaid. So this was definitely one of the better ones that you could find. Sold super fast. I got an offer for 150 and I jumped on it. Speaking of Canali, I picked up this two-piece suit. It was blue pinstriped, had the pants and the jacket, and combined they sold for 170 bucks. Next up, we have a Sims fishing jacket. This one is called the Challenger jacket. Took an offer for 165 the first day this was listed. Paid 65 bucks for this at the same Dick's warehouse sale. And finding items like this at a retail sale is really nice because this was like a one-off item. It was probably purchased and returned. There were not tons of these on the rack. So when I listed this, I was the only one to have this available on eBay. Sold comps were about $150, but because there was none available, I listed mine for $200 and took a $165 offer. Here's a brand that I finally found this year for the first time, and since finding it, I've found it 3 times this year, which super stoked about. The brand is Relwyn. This is an excellent brand to be on the lookout for. If you see it, just buy it. This, when I first picked it up, I thought it was going to be like a button-up shirt because it was pretty lightweight. And I was thinking, oh, a button-up shirt's probably one of the, least desirable items from this brand. They're really known for their jackets. Well, little did I know, I put this into Google Lens and it showed me that this was called the Flyweight Flex Blazer. I typed that into Google and saw that these things sell for crazy money. The sell-through rate was over 200% when I originally looked this up. I took an offer for 175 bucks. Okay, we have another chunky sole New Balance. I found these once again in brand new condition without the box, so I was able to list as new. These are called the Fuel Cell Super Comp Elite V4. Excellent model of New Balance to be on the lookout for. These sold for $170. Next up is another pair of boots. These were Royer work boots. They had this like safety guard, all these little extra leather straps and stuff to really protect your foot. I don't really know like if there's a certain career or certain activity that requires this kind of boot, but when I saw it, it looked like it was going to be expensive. And it totally was. These sold for 180 bucks plus shipping. This was probably my best Christmas decoration flip this year. I picked up 2 of these Grinch and Max little light up decorations. They came in a box just like this. I got these down to $39 by stacking some discount codes, and they both sold for full price of $200 plus $15 shipping within like a couple days of me listing them. Once again, the only thing I would change is go back and buy more of these. We have another brand that I was finally able to knock off the bucket list. The brand is Brunello Cucinelli. This was 100% cashmere sweater, which is one of the best items you could have even found from this brand. The only bummer is that it did actually have a hole down here in the bottom, and it had a hole up here in the shoulder and one in the sleeve. So I had 3 holes and still sold for $210 plus shipping. Once again, look at this tag and put it in your memory bank. This is an automatic pickup anytime you find it. Another brand I was able to knock off my bucket list. As I'm going through these items, it's fun to see what I actually found this year. But this is an authentic Kuji sweater. Super cool pattern on this. Got all the chunky 3D knit. It's got black, blue, white, pink, yellow, orange. I mean, it's got every color you can imagine on this thing. I did spend $100 at the thrift store to pick this up. I made a video about it. I did have to wait for the right buyer to come along. I knew I would, paying up $100, but I ended up selling this for $219 plus shipping. This is a super unique Woolrich jacket. I had never seen anything like it, and when I was researching on eBay, I could not find anything like it as well. Super heavy duty wool outside. It's got the like suede leather elbow patches, the really nice corduroy. It's got the shooting pads on the shoulders, all these little extra doohickeys here. Ended up selling this for $225 plus shipping. Another Filson item makes the list with this Filson jacket. This was called the Hardwoods Camo Oil Finish Tin Cloth Field Jacket. It's kind of a mouthful there, but really I just looked at this little tag here and put all these things into Google to try to decipher what this thing actually was. But a super cool vintage made in USA. This thing was super heavyweight, super high quality. I really understand why people pay up for these because this thing was super cool. I did list this one super high and wait for the right price. I was able to get this thing sold for $270. Okay, this next sale is going to be a little bit of a journey, so bear with me. But basically, I sold a lot of these Instax Fujifilm cameras. This was the Instax Mini 12 Instant Camera Bundle. I sold 5 of these to the same buyer for $275 plus shipping. I did refund a little bit of the shipping because they were stacking on top of each other. I messaged the buyer and let him know that I picked these up recently and asked if he was looking for any more, and he said, yes, I am. So I went directly back to Kohl's, which is where I picked these up. I forget exactly what I paid. I think it was $20 a piece. And I went back and picked up 5 more. So I was able to put them in a bundle as well and ship all 10 cameras together. So all in, I think it was $275 plus like $20-ish in shipping. So basically I got 10 of these cameras sold for $570 and I paid $20 a piece, so about $200. The next item is another Kohl's clearance find. This is a Garmin VivoActive 4S smartwatch. Got this sold for $281. I honestly cannot remember what I paid, but I want to say it was around maybe $100 to $120 for this. So definitely a nice profit. And that was not even my best Garmin watch sale. I actually sold 2 of these Venu 2S GPS watches to the same buyer for $640. These ones I know I paid $122 a piece. So that's $244 into $640. Comps were a little unclear on this item when I was at the store, so I didn't want to go all in spending $122 a clip. But once these sold in one day to the same buyer, I went directly back to Kohl's because I knew there was more and I bought 2 more. I sold the next 2 to the exact same buyer for the exact same price. So all in all, between just those 4 watches, all picked up from the same place, I had $1,280 in sales. We have another bucket list brand next up on the list. These are a pair of White's boots. You can't really see it right here, but White's was kind of embossed into the leather right here. I used Google Lens to figure out this was the Cycle. This was the Cycle model, CYKLE. It was a collaboration with the website Huckberry, which is another well-known thing for people that like high-end outdoor apparel and accessories. I listed high because there was none like this. Ended up taking an offer for $285 because I picked these up for I think only like $45. Here we have another one that really blew me away when I started digging into the research. Shout out to my friend Big Yumbo. He was helping me with some of the details on this, but this is a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren down-filled. It's got that mutton fur once again. Super cool, like a flight jacket style. And one thing that was super cool about this is after putting it in Google Lens, I actually found this on Ralph Lauren's website, and they had sold the vintage ones for $695 on their website in used condition. Of course, mine did have a couple little flaws here and there, but because of that, I decided to list mine high for $500, and I got an offer for $360 and took it. All right, you guys heard me mention a couple times in this video the vintage hat haul with my friend from the garage sale. Well, these were all of the hats that were not valued at $40 or more. We sold in just one big bundle. I started this on a 99-cent auction and let it run for an entire week, and me and my friend would just split whatever the profit was after the fees and the shipping. And when the auction was all said and done, it had sold for $415 plus $15 shipping, making that my second best sale of the year. Now, of course, I am splitting that with my friend, but the crazy part is that we only paid 40 bucks for the whole bin, and we pulled out lots of hats that were worth really good money, including a few of the ones you saw earlier in this video. And my biggest sale of 2024 was this Halloween decoration from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Sold this for $430 plus $50 shipping, and I picked this up for $200. I can't remember if I bought 2 or 3 of these, but I sold them all for over $400 plus $50 shipping. And once again, these came pre-boxed, so all I had to do was slap a label right on the box to get them shipped out, so not really that much of a hassle. We finally made it, guys. That's every single item I sold for $99 or more in 2024. If you made it this far, put a rocket ship emoji in the comments and let me know your best sale of 2024. If you liked the video and like learning about reselling and making money online, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video. Also, if you want to try Auto Posher or try out the Bread and Butter Discord group, those links are down below. We'll see you in the next one.